There's a quite famous TV show that perhaps some of you watch, Queer Eye. Queer Eye. This is the reboot. I think there was one in like the early 2000s. Now, I'm not a regular watcher, but I've seen some episodes. There's a pastor, so of course I had to see that episode. And they were here in D.C. I got to see them. But the premise of the show of Queer Eye, they're called the Fab Five, these five queer men who bring their expertise, cooking, interior design, lifestyle, grooming, and fashion, and they help someone in need. Often these folks, the people they help, are struggling in some way. They have poor haircuts or mismatched clothing or what have you, but also old household appliances. Maybe they're not feeling confident at work. They need that extra motivation or that fire, under them to get them moving. And because they are loved, because this Queer Eye team comes in, because people say, hey, our friend or our parent or whoever needs help, they're able to improve their lives and their situations, and it makes them and everyone around them a little bit better. This is what community is all about, right? We turn to those around us and we say, I need help. Or we check in, are you okay? What do you need? We lift each other up. We support each other. That's what happened to the Israelites and Moses specifically in our Torah portion. So B'shalach, the main part of it is the Israelites finally cross the sea and they escape from Egypt and they sing the song of the sea, Micha Mocha and Oziva Zimratya, and then they head out and they begin their journey towards Sinai. And along the journey, at the end of the portion, the Amalekites come and attack them. Vayavo Amalek vayilachem im Yisrael Refidim. Amalek came and fought with Israel at Refidim. And the Israelites fight back. So it's this massive battle. And Moses stands at the top and looks down at the battle. And God says, if you raise your hand and raise your arm, the Israelites will win. And so he does that. So he lifts his arm and the Israelites prevail and prevail. But he starts getting tired and his arms start to slink and they start to lose. So he lifts up, right? And so what happens is that two of his aides de camp, Joshua and Hur, lift his arms for him. They sit next to him and they lift his arms. In fact, aside, whenever I'm leading high holiday services here and I see the back window of Jesus like this, I'm like, no, it's Moses with his arms up. That's in my head. But so he lifts his arms and the battle is won, but he's only able to lift his arms because of Joshua and Hur. So there's there's another rabbi in New York City who he shared this on Facebook, and I'm not sure if he wanted it attributed to him, so I won't name who it is, but he teaches that this idea of lifting arms is exactly what community is for and is about, right? Moses is stressed. He's tired. He's weak from the constant threat, this battle. He's ready to drop, and his community steps in. And they literally lift him up. They say, here, let us help. And so they can support him and all of Israel. So we're all facing battles, right? We have our personal battles in our own lives, death, illness, injury, work troubles, kids stuck at home for a week, right? Whatever it might be, which is a blessing also, right? Whatever it might be. And then, of course, the news, the authoritarian ICE agents roaming the streets and troubling news nonstop from the White House and economic unsteadiness. So when we face the stress and the trauma of life, let us lift each other up. Like Joshua and Hur for Moses, like Renee Nicole Brown and Alex Preddy for their neighbors, right? Trying to be there. We show up for each other at Shiva, at services, at protests, on Signal chats, at Mitzvah Day. We rally together around causes that matter. We offer rides to those who need them. We check in with a phone call or a coffee chat, and so much more. We lift each other up. So the Fab Five from Queer Eye probably aren't reaching out to us to better our lives, but we don't need them. Because like Moses had Joshua and Hur to support his arms, we have each other to lift us up. Amen. Amen. Think of the ways we can lift others or might need others to lift us up.